Have you ever thought about getting rid of this shit? This is some shit.
Let's just say it. A lot of rich people come off as being greedy. Is there a reason greed and money go together? Is there a connection between richness and greediness? Let's unpack this mystery at the heart of the rich. So which came first, the money or the greed? Many consider greed as a characteristic of all rich people, but did money change these people from giving to greedy, or were they greedy all along?
Stupid rich people.
Let's take a look back in time. Marcus Crassus was the greediest person in history. He became obsessed with wealth as a young man. He rented land and bought slaves that he could sell later on for a profit. And Rome's failure to provide housing is what fueled his business. He organized teams of firefighters who would save the burning houses because fires were quite common, and then he'd buy those houses cheap so he could rebuild and rent them. He had a net worth of $2 trillion in today's money. That makes him richer than Nathan Mayer Rothschild and John D. Rockefeller combined. Unfortunately, his greed resulted in his death. He was killed during a disastrous military campaign in which he was trying to conquer the kingdom of Parthia, which, funny enough, was famous for its wealth. But what exactly is considered greedy? If you are capitalizing on opportunities, is that considered greed?
Do you know what the definition of a rich person is? Someone who has more than you.
Greed is showing an excessive desire for more than is needed, especially wealth or power. Greed can be anything though: food, possessions, power, status, attention, sex, admiration. With this definition, I'm leaning towards the fact that the majority of us are greedy in one way or another, but as we've seen, most of us aren't rich.
Babies are greedy. All they do is cry and scream because they want food, water, and love. Like, gee, some of us have lives, you know. Why don't you just get up and get it yourself? Oh, wait, no. You can't walk.
Therefore, being greedy does not guarantee you will be rich. Now, does that mean that rich people are inherently greedier than everyone else? Like, do all rich people tip less and drink with their pinkies up? Or do they just save more of their income?
Or the favorite one is the rich are greedy. It's the poor that are greedy. You know, if you think about it, because to be rich, you have to give something. You know, you have to. I have to produce books and games, and I purchase real estate, I provide housing, provide jobs and all that. That's why I'm rich. But greedy people produce nothing.
Vanderbilt, one of the richest men in American history, did famously say, "The public be damned, I only care about my property." There is something called rent seeking. This is when people manipulate public policy or economic conditions to increase profits. It's like getting a big piece of wealth cake without making the cake any larger. It's when the mob shakes down local businesses insisting that they pay for protection. It's when businesses lobby for tax cuts but don't create a benefit for the nation. But on the flip side, rent seeking is also when the elderly seek higher Social Security payments. All of this is rent seeking, and it's a characteristic of greediness. Maybe being greedy is just an ingrained way of thinking. Psychologist Sheldon Solomon found that people like to have a lot of stuff because it gives them the feeling of living forever. So those hoarders from TV must think they're immortal.
My name is Donna. I live in New York. Been in this apartment for maybe 22 years.
Donna?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ferguson.
Hey, Dr. Ferguson. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Well, I'm excited to be working with you.
Hey.
Oh my God! What is this? Why do you have a trash can on top of trash?
We know greed can lead to narcissism and entitlement, and again, this does not mean you'll become rich. Quite the opposite. Having money, possessions, and things can create a stronger possibility for us to feel like living forever, immortalizing ourselves with those things, which can come from an increased sense of self-centeredness. So what we can conclude is that being greedy isn't going to make you rich, but being rich does increase the chances that you'll become someone that people hate.
The people I dislike the most are greedy people. If greedy people was a Facebook status, I wouldn't like it. If greedy people was a YouTube video, I would dislike it. But not this one, because this one's about greedy people. But you know, don't dislike this one, because this one's alright.